Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today I just finished watching episode 4 of Gen V, the spin-off of The Boys, and like I said last time, I'm surprised that this show is working as well as it does. I had so many doubts going in because, as some people have said, this is essentially The Boys becoming the thing that they've been spoofing, like they have now a cinematic universe, this expanded lore and all that, and they've kind of made fun of other franchises who've done this, right? Like they make fun of all the Marvel and DC stuff that's constantly making endless spin-offs and such, right? But yeah, the show continues to work, and where we last left off our characters, Emma, who is the girl who she has to vomit to shrink down in size and she has to eat in order to grow in size. She had been told to snuck down into the underground laboratory where they're doing something down there. It's still unclear exactly what's happening. They call it the woods, but I guess it is also underground, so maybe the entrance is in the woods, I don't know. And she's going down there to go try and free Sam, who is the brother of Golden Boy. And Golden Boy is he was like the all-star, literally golden child of the school, who he ends up killing the dean of the school because he was trying to, I guess, reveal the conspiracy, or he was just trying to get revenge for his brother being captured down there. But he was told that his brother was dead, and then it turns out his brother was not dead. He was actually being held in this underground laboratory, and so for whatever reason he ends up killing himself. And to be honest with you, it's still kind of unclear why he ended up killing himself. I guess because he just saw that everyone was recording him attacking people, and he had just killed the dean, and I guess he just thought, I don't know what he thought. It was weird, right? Like he gave a clue to one of his friends saying like, oh, your dad knows about it, your dad's in on it, right? You could have given a better clue than that guy, right? Like you could have just said like, okay, yeah, so there's this underground facility and that's where they keep my brother and they're doing all kinds of mysterious experiment. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna say something before you explode yourself, right? Like you got to give more of a thorough clue than that. But in any case, they were trying to figure out what was happening. They sent down little Cricket, Emma, down there, and she ends up making friends with Sam, and who, of course, he does actually have problems, right? So, like, he's not being held there, for no reason, I guess, but, he is kind of crazy. He is seeing things, he's hallucinating, he thinks that Emma is imaginary at first. And basically they end up escaping this episode, and we see just like all the carnage because Sam has super strength and possibly some other powers, but mostly just super strength. And so he ends up taking out the whole hallway full of guards, which, by the way, in this world, if you're gonna have a hospital full of superhero people, why do you still hire human guards with like normal guns? And because, we saw this in the main series in The Boys. We've seen this go wrong before. Like a hallway's just full of dead guards. Like, why get some superhero guards? Why are all your guards humans? Like, it's not gonna work out, right? Like hire like 3 or 4 superhero guards to guard the rest of the superheroes. Like, why all humans? Doesn't make any sense. It's not gonna work, right? Anyways, so Sam and Emma escape, and they quickly, they have sort of a romance going on, but they quickly become really great friends, and they're just getting along, and everything seems fine. But then Sam kind of has a freak out moment. He sees this kid's puppet show, and it's like a puppet of the Deep, and it's real gross because like the Deep's gills are there on the puppet, and they're talking. It's real nasty. Anyways, so he's hallucinating, and they're like, oh, you gotta go find this doctor who experimented on you. You gotta go kill him. You gotta stop him, right? And so he has a freak out. He leaps away like the Hulk, like he jumps real far away. And so now they have to go try and find him. Meanwhile, at the school, we have Tek Knight, who is a character from the comics, and he's there. He's not like in his battle armor. I think in the comics they gave him like a Batman, Iron Man type armor, but here he's just a really good detective guy. And he has like sort of this, he has like this sort of show where he uncovers mysteries and conspiracies, but just like everything else in this world, of course, it is just more spin where the Vought Corporation can just like, you know, tell him what they want to be the truth, and then he acts like he discovered this whole thing, and then that's just what the narrative is now, right? So yeah, he does actually have, you know, really good liar detect abilities, right? Like he can look at someone and see your pupils and your veins and your adrenaline and like all this stuff happening, so you can tell when you're lying and when you're telling the truth. And you know, he actually can figure stuff out. That's his power. And so he's going around and he's trying to figure out what they can blame Golden Boy's death on, right? Like, because they, you know, the public wants an explanation. So he's trying to find someone to pin it on, and he ultimately ends up going to this class where he goes to Marie, who is the girl who can control blood, and he ends up getting her to publicly confess that she is not the one who fought Golden Boy. It was actually Jordan Lee, who, you know, Marie and Jordan Lee have had like this rivalry happening this whole time. They did not like each other at all this whole show. And then of course Jordan Lee ended up fighting Golden Boy and essentially saving her, but because of public perception, because Jordan Lee's power is to switch genders, and they're like, well, that's not going to play in some of the southern states, so we can't let that be the narrative, so we need to pick someone else who stopped Golden Boy. And you know, that's why Marie had gotten chosen and basically became like in the top 5 rankings of the students, because it wouldn't fit the narrative, right? So just, you know, and I do love that like this show just, you know, it furthers what we already know about Vought, about like every aspect of society and the news, and you know, even reports of reality of what happened. It's all controlled on what the narrative needs to be, you know, like what's gonna play best in certain demographics, you know, like that's all it is. So she confesses the truth, and that Jordan Lee was the one who stopped Golden Boy, and this is the first time she's said that out loud, so I don't know where that's gonna go. But Marie and Jordan Lee end up getting together, which I did not see coming, because they had been like in this real rivalry, hateful relationship the whole show so far, but now they kind of got together, and okay, that's interesting. And so they get warned by Emma, who arrives saying like, hey, Sam is on a rampage, he's going after this doctor because the TV told him to, right? But you know, it was one of the doctors from the laboratory, so we got to go stop him. And so they end up getting to the doctor's house just in time to stop him from murdering everyone in the house. And they have like a pretty cool fight. Emma ends up being able to eat a bunch of food and quickly grows in size, which I don't think that is something that they've established she could do until now, which is pretty cool, right? Like it's you know, I feel like if maybe she didn't know she could do that, I don't know, but this is definitely a more marketable power, right? Like you would think that if she's here to be a superhero and Vought's all about branding and all that stuff, right? Like, yeah, growing large is a much more marketable, cool power than shrinking down, right? Like, I don't know. It seems strange that this is the first time that's even been addressed as a thing she can do. But anyway, she goes really big, she stops Sam, and then something weird happens. And I don't know if this is just an editing decision or if I missed something. I rewound this several times, but they're talking to Sam, they're trying to calm him down, they have him pinned to the ground, and they're like, okay, Sam, it's okay, we're gonna protect you, we're on your side, we're gonna do everything we can. And then it just kind of cuts to black, and then Marie wakes up and she's in the bed with Jordan Lee, and then the episode just kind of ends there. And I'm like, well, wait, what happened? What was that quick editing away from the scene mid-sentence? It was very strange, and I don't know if it's going to be revealed that like someone used their powers to knock them all unconscious, or if someone messed with their memories for a second. It was very strange, but yeah, they were like mid-sentence trying to calm Sam down, and then it just cut away to the next morning. But in any case, yeah, so that's where we're at now. Of course, we still don't know what is happening in the woods, why they have all these kids in the laboratory. I mean, Sam was already, you know, he was already a patient in a hospital, so why did they lie and say that he died, and Golden Boy had to discover this whole conspiracy? Like, what exactly is happening? I don't know. But in any case, you know, the characters continue to be like the shining points of the show so far. Like I'm really enjoying just, I don't know, seeing them on their journey, right? Like it's different than The Boys in that, like, it is somewhat of a teen drama, or, you know, college age drama, young adult drama, I guess. But, you know, it's they're still in this really messed up world, and it doesn't feel like a separate thing at all. So, you know, it continues to be really great. You know, and I'm just still waiting for answers, I guess. Like, what is this hospital all about? All the adults seem to be completely in on it. And there's still a whole bunch of things from the trailer that we have not seen yet. So I'm curious when all that's gonna come to fruition. Oh, there was something else that happened. It was really messed up scene. So Marie goes to this telepath. Yeah, I think he was like a telepath or something. And she was trying to get him to... Was she just gonna get him to answer questions, or no? She was trying to get him to sense where Sam was. That's what it was, to sense where Emma and Sam were. That way she could try and go help her. And then this telepath ends up like knocking her unconscious, and he was essentially going to sexually assault her. And so Marie ends up exploding his penis by filling it with blood until it explodes. Which she's like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. Which, again, that is a much more helpful power than having to cut yourself and then use your blood as like a whip type thing. Being able to explode someone else with their own blood that's in their body, that's a much more helpful power, I think. But yeah, of course, that's The Boys, real graphic. They show the whole thing. It's pretty crazy. But Jordan Lee was trying to break down the door and save her in that moment, because she saw that she had gone to this telepath for help, and I suppose he's known around campus for being that guy. So that was kind of our first hint that Jordan Lee kind of likes Marie, even though they've kind of hated each other this whole show. But yeah, so pretty cool so far. I'm still really in on the show, and I'm curious what the mystery is gonna be. I guess my thing, and I said this last time, but it really is just like, they're not gonna stop Vought. Like ultimately the Vought Corporation are the main villains, right? Like even more than Homelander, even more than like any of the other, you know, this laboratory or anything else. It's all leading back to Vought, right? Like, because they're a major corporation who's gonna keep on doing what they're doing. And you know, they're not stopping that in this show. I guess the most they could do is stop the laboratory, maybe even have the campus shut down. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, maybe they can somehow help out with taking down Vought in the long run. You'll have your big Avengers assemble moment, you know. But I don't know, again, Billy Butcher's not the kind of guy who's gonna totally go for that, I feel, right? Like, he's not just gonna instantly trust these kids. So in any case, yeah, still enjoying the show. It's pretty cool. And I guess we'll figure out what happened there at the end. It was just a strange editing choice, or you know, maybe I missed something. I kept on looking in the background, be like, did something knock them unconscious? Why did it just cut so suddenly? I don't know. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next episode. Bye.